Now, with that elephant out of the room, my lord.
Heads of arguments are now done as we wait for Thursday when Judge Ratha gives his ruling on a trial within a trial. My comment section is open. What is your prediction? Will the confessions be admissible or inadmissible?
I want us to go through the heads of arguments and now with respect to the admissibility of Exhibit FF, which will be my paragraph 6, my lord, regarding accused number 1. The objection as was raised, especially in this passage that Mr. Baloyi relied on, indeed does not contain the constitutional ground. And I'd like to put that frankly before this court, but the explanation has been proffered for the reason thereof. Now, the reason for the objection, as was constellated during the trial, my lord, for the admissibility of Exhibit FF for accused number 1 is that the statement was not obtained freely and voluntarily, since the accused person, accused number 1, was assaulted by the police officers who investigated this case. He was threatened with further assaults that should he not sign the pre-prepared statement that was handed to him at Deep Kloof by Colonel Mboto, then further assaults will be perpetrated on him. And also, he testified that he was not informed of his constitutional rights from the morning or the day he met Sergeant Mogola at Tembisa, together with Sadiki and Buthelezi, throughout the duration of the day until he is presented at Colonel Rapadu at 21:45 on the 30th of May 2020 in Deep Kloof SAPS. Accused number 1 disputes the evidence of Mogola and Buthelezi that the police officers that were involved in thank you, my lord. I was just being reminded that I tend to mix Rapadu and Mboto, so I'll be conscious to be aware what I'm talking about here. He disputes that he was arrested by 3 officers, namely Mogola, Buthelezi, and Sadiki. According to the testimony that he proffered in court, is that he was arrested by a large contingent of EMPD SWAT officers in uniform and other police officers in civilian clothing, which he estimated to have been perhaps 8 uniformed and 5 civilian clothed police officers. And the ones that he later came to know their names are Mogola, Sadiki, Buthelezi, Maphumulo, Monareng, Mabena, and Ngamani.
Sorry. Okay, so Mzansi, here's some facts that I want us to remember as we continue waiting for the trial within the trial update. First and foremost, Moses Sibia is accused number 1. And 4 days prior to the Meyiwa trial beginning, he was actually sentenced to 12 years imprisonment in an unrelated matter. The magistrates in the Vusloris court also declared him unfit to own a firearm. Sibia was convicted for the attempted murders of Ntombenhle Ndaba and Mfane Lombata, and that is in a statement by the national prosecutor. So he's already convicted on something else. Does this make him guilty, or that his confession is admissible in the Senzo Meyiwa trial? No. There are unrelated matters, but I wanted to bring these facts to the forefront to get an understanding why there were so many police. And he says 13 police showed up to arrest him. Your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's continue listening because we know Judge Ratha has many questions on the number of police.
Is it a factual statement that he was arrested by 13 police?
It is not factual. That is testimony, my lord. We don't have records to show.
No, just want to. Normally there should be an arresting officer. You can bring the whole army.
Yes.
But there's an arresting officer. So if there are 13 police, are they all arresting officers? That's all I'm asking.
They all descended on the scene, but it will...
Are they all arresting officers?
I'm coming to that, my lord. It will look like, according to the testimony of Mogola, she was the arresting officer.
Okay, and according to your client?
According to my client, the person that actually affected the arrest was Maphumulo.
Okay, fine.
And then also, my lord, he disputes that there were only 2 cars, the one driven by Buthelezi and the one that was driven by Mogola. He estimates that there may have been at least 7 cars involved. Now, all the police officers who are involved with the arrest of accused number 1 denied that he was assaulted, and they maintained that stance in the evidence given in court. Now, accused number 1 testified that he was assaulted at Letabong in Tembisa shortly after his arrest. He was then taken to Vosloorus next to a municipality building that houses the court, the police station, and other offices. And further, he was assaulted at Diepkloof. Like I said, my lord, I'm not going to traverse those facts. They are in record. Now we come to Exhibit FF, which is a document labeled Confession and Admission. And it's the document, the pro forma that we have looked at, and the annexure that still has to come, should it come, that was completed by Colonel Mboto. Now that pro forma is Exhibit FF, and it has certain preliminary questions that the commissioned officers must go through with the deponent or the suspect. And amongst those questions, at question 3 is whether or not the deponent has been assaulted or threatened, to which the accused number 1 answered in the negative. Now, question 7.1 of the pro forma, it asks the following question: have you previously made a statement to any person in respect of this incident? The answer is yes, to the police who arrested me. And then 7.2, if so, to whom, when, and under what circumstances? The answer is under normal circumstances. And then 7.3, why do you wish to repeat the statement? The answer, they told me not to talk in details. They will arrange somebody else to obtain the statement who is not participating in the investigation. Now, my lord, what then is my issue here is that at 7.2, the answer that is given to whom have you given the statement, under what, when, and under what circumstances? The reply thereto is under normal circumstances. I submit, my lord, what the question wanted was the background to how the statement was made to those officers. Where, when, and under what circumstances? And my submission is that Colonel Mboto does not pursue this question further because it's an ambiguous question. It does not elicit what normal conditions the accused is referring to, because contextually, if you say under normal circumstances, it's vague. We submit.
Absolutely agree with this point. The question is, under what circumstances did you give this confession? And supposedly accused number 1 said, hey, it was under normal circumstances. And, the confession goes on. Does that make sense to you? Is that enough for this to be admissible or be thrown out? Let's listen on.
But what is of essence is that, according to his testimony, accused number 1 says, as they are leaving Diepkloof, he sees in the parking lot police going to talk to Brigadier Gininda. That is pivotal, my lord, because according to procedures, any member of the investigative team, be it Mohola, be it Mohane, I don't know what the role of Mabena was, the deceased was in this case, and Brigadier Gininda, they are not supposed to be anywhere near the area where the statement or the confessional statement is being obtained from the accused person.
Yeah, Gininda says he was never at the proof.
Yes, but
He doesn't really know Mboto. Only saw him for the first time on the Tuesday when he went to Innerdale to collect the alleged confession.
Statement. That's
I
correct.
know your client says he was there, fine,
Yes.
but he denies it at least.
That's the court cases now.
And the other gentlemen, Jonathan and Butelezi and all those guys, I thought it's common cause that they were escorts.
Yes.
And they don't, according to them, they didn't enter into the room in which the alleged confession was taken. They delivered, according to Jonathan at least, accused number 1. No, I'm wrong. I was thinking about, they delivered accused number 1 to Mboto, and they left at the parking lot there. Subsequently, they say, they were called to say the statement has been taken, and they escorted accused number 1, I think, to Valeria or whatever.
My lord, you see, the issue with me is this. These are police officers. They are mandated in their furtherance of their duties because they attend several scenes per day. They are mandated to carry pocketbooks. All we hear is their say-so, they are bad deniers. I was not there, I did not assault him. We keep on harping back, my lord, to apartheid days, whereby police officers will also employ the same modus operandi. Whenever it comes to matters, all of them, the pocketbooks have grown legs. They are not to be found anywhere. So all the court relies on is the say-so, the ipse dixit of those officers.
So Mzansi, in a case of he said, she said, and the burden of the proof lies with the state to prove that what the police are saying is correct. The Brigadier Gininda is saying he was nowhere in the parking lot as accused number one claims that he was there at the time that he was giving his confession. There's no proof. Is there any camera evidence? What can be used that can back up the state's statement that they were not there and therefore these confessions are valid and admissible? However, the defense, I think, in my opinion here, has done a good job in proving that, hey, this is not 100% accurate. Why were the police there? The police were not supposed to be there when the investigating team was not supposed to be there when the confession was being given. And our client says Brigadier Gininda was in the parking lot. So my question is, and please make sure to comment down below, I don't know, if I was arrested today, would you know that, hey, okay, this is what the law says. I need to make sure that whoever's investigating me is nowhere near wherever I'm going to be to give a confession. I think that was kind of pretty brilliant on accused number one, Muzi Sivia, to actually know his rights in terms of, I'm about to give, let's allegedly, if he gave that confession, and if he didn't, so allegedly, if he really did in truth give that confession, he's a known criminal. So I guess he knows this because he's a known criminal, that, hey, an investigative man is not supposed to be here when I am giving my confession. And he sat on this and remembered this and brings this to his legal team so that when his time in court comes, this is something that stands out. What are your thoughts on that information, Mzansi? Comment below. Is that common knowledge that you would know that the investigation team is not supposed to be wherever you are when you are giving your confession? That's pretty interesting. And is that enough, based on he said, she said, is that enough for this confession to be thrown out in the ruling we are all anticipating on Thursday? Let me know.
Well, they said the unit was disbanded. And of course, even the alleged leader of that unit, Colonel Singh, came to say the same thing.
My lord, I know in SAPS there's what's called SAP stores, SAP 6. Records are kept. These are state records. The unit can be disbanded, the records are not disbanded, my lord.
Wonderfully said, well said. That was brilliant, because one thing Judge Ratha is going to do is he's going to give his opinion and also, add on. But in all honesty, okay, so the unit was disbanded. Why were the records deleted? Because the crimes that were committed while the unit was still active are still valid crimes. Why would they get rid of all their little notebooks? And, Advocate Sipho Ramasipili is hilarious. He's got all these little jokes. He inserts them here and here. I wouldn't say jokes, but little punchlines. He's like, the pockets books have grown legs. In the beginning, he said, now that the elephant in the room has been addressed. Okay, sir. And, he goes on and on with these little punchlines. And have you noticed whenever he does that, Judge Ratha says nothing. He goes absolutely quiet. This has been an interesting and a great performance, I would say, in favor of the defense. But is it clear what's going to happen on Thursday? Are the confessions admissible or not admissible? My prediction, though, is that he is going to use the loophole that he doesn't have to rule, or he's going to give a partial ruling, and then he's going to say, I can always come back and turn it over during the trial. So let's see what happens. Comment below. I want to hear what you guys think so far.
A detainee is going to write in his pocket book, at 6:30 p.m., I assaulted Ratha.
My lord,
in the pocket book.
That was the answer that was given by accused number 2.
No, I'm asking on the probabilities.
No, my lord. What I was raising the issue of pocket books on is to say, the pocket book will say, Ramasipili S on duty at 6 a.m. attending to scene 15, whatever, at this place. Fine. We don't have that. All we have is their bad denials and their say-so, my lord.
Thanks so much for watching. Catch you on our next upload.